This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to your Monday edition of the afternoon show here, of course, live on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. It is, once again, Monday, March 24th. Joining us today, we got a full cast and crew. We got Jay McLovin, we got Tony and Chris Gonzalez, and we've got Frankie C. Not Frankie Lake Show on the name, but in the photo it is. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Things got heated pre-show, so that's why we're a little bit behind today. Had to cool off, get some water. But we're all good now. Guys, if you enjoy the show today, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We go live Monday through Friday, 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and all other platforms. But you can check out all of those as well as all of the other great content we have on the channel in our link tree in the description of each and every single episode. We have a bunch of great other content besides us, which we're there 5 days a week. So, first off, guys, how are we doing this afternoon? How was y'all's weekend? Any big plans? Jay, I know you were out and about this weekend. Why don't you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah. It was a pretty productive weekend, honestly, for the entertainment side, or at least for me and the Whiskey Hour show that we do. We met up with Dale Penner. If you don't know who Dale Penner is, he produced one of Nickelback's albums, and Katie Lang and a few other artists. I think Tony, you might know. Back in the 70s, there was a metal band called Loverboy. I don't know if you remember them or not.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But he also produced Loverboy's albums as well. So got to meet up with him. Got to talk a little bit about the music industry for local artists that are trying to come up in the world. Obviously, as you know, it's not as easy a thing to do to come up in the music industry. So he, it was a good conference at the Country Music Association. That's who was putting on the Springboard Music Festival, and so I got to meet Mary and a few other directors of that association and a lot of the good local artists. If you go out there, you can see I did a couple of quick live videos with them. So yeah, it was a good productive weekend, man. Delta Circle showed out, did great, and I look forward to more endeavors with them. So be on the lookout for Whiskey Hour down the road. I think we're gonna have something good come out.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what progresses with that. I know you had a fun weekend, and you're very well hydrated. I know that much. You were.
Yeah, we were definitely well hydrated.
You were doing well out there in the hot Texas sun. All right. Hey, Tony, I know Chris stepped away for a minute, but we'll just go ahead and ask you, man, how was your weekend? Anything fun happen?
We did that wrestling show yesterday. It was pretty good. Went pretty well. And so everything was pretty good. Watched a lot of college basketball. I watched a lot of games. So I was happy the Big Ten, I think what we ended up getting 4.
I think you have 4, and I know the SEC has 7, I believe.
Yep. We had 4 out of 8. I think the SEC had 7 out of 14. Mm-hmm. So both those leagues doing pretty well.
Yep, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But we'll talk to Frankie first. Frankie, what's going on, man? Did you have a good weekend?
Oh no! When you have 4 kids close to the same age, you never have a good weekend.
You're right, because you have great weekends with your kids. Exactly. All right. Well, we will go ahead and get into, like Tony said, it's March. Thus, it means it is March Madness. We're going to talk about the men's side first, just kind of what all we saw, and we'll talk about the women's as well. There is, I believe, 1 or 2 games going on right now, so we'll update those as they kind of come along here on the show. But guys, we've made it to the Sweet 16 in the college basketball tournament, and honestly, guys, I mean, it's been some good play. But there isn't any Cinderellas left. There's no magical team. A lot of these teams are very highly ranked. I mean, Ole Miss and BYU, they're number 6 seeds, but other than that, I see a lot of 1s, a lot of 4s, a lot of 3s. I mean, the only, I guess you could say, underdog, and they're not really even an underdog, I would say, and that's the Arkansas Razorbacks of the SEC, currently ranked 10th. And as Tony just previously mentioned, there are 7 SEC teams in the Sweet 16, so there is a very good chance we're going to get an SEC team in the finals, it looks like, if all odds kind of go the way they have been. But Just what were you guys' thoughts on the round of 32 coming to a wrap? So, like I said, a lot of good teams got advanced for the most part with ease, but there was a couple of close games. I know one that I had gotten to sit down and watch was the Arkansas win over St. John's. And boy, that was just a rough watch. St. John's could not buy a basket for anything. They had a buy one get one coupon. They wouldn't even have that accepted. It was just rough. They couldn't hit shots, but their defense was tough, and Arkansas wasn't hitting a lot of their shots either. So they were able to make it a lot closer than what the scoreboard says. But that was just one game I was able to watch for the vast majority of this past week. But what about y'all? Did y'all see any close games or any fun games over the weekend? We'll go with Jay, you first.
Yeah, obviously, the biggest one I saw out there was almost was an upset was UConn in Florida, and Florida just nicked that one out at 77-75. But I really thought UConn might have had a chance at that upset, and I really thought that was going to be an upset, but it just didn't happen. But I gotta tip my hat off to the Huskies, though, man. You guys gave it a good shot, honestly.
And I did see post game that Dan Hurley was not happy with the refs. If I had $1 for every time someone said that, I'd be a rich man. Tony, did you see any of the kind of post game or any of the game that he's mentioned there? The Florida Gators surviving, winning 77-75 over the UConn Huskies.
I was keeping track of it because that's about the time our wrestling show started. I was keeping track of it, and I did see what you're talking about with Hurley. He was pretty upset after the game, throwing some F-bombs around, and he was pretty upset.
Yeah, he I think people have a perceive him in a certain ways, either being emotional or kind of a hothead. And, we do the same for Draymond Green, right? Whenever he gets in fights and whatnot, or he's batting off someone. But at the end of the day, this is all on video. We get you fired up. You want your team to win and everything. But at the same time, we're just calling what we see live with audio and video. But basically, Hurley was just saying that, the refs were screwing them over. And he says, and this is a quote, I'm going to clean it up, obviously. It says, "I hope they don't blank you like they blanked us, but they blanked us, Baylor. I really hope they don't." That strong words. And I'm sure he'll be receiving a fine at his office desk here probably the next 48 hours, if I had to assume.
That's very Bobby Knight-esque, isn't it? Because Bobby Knight was a very emotional coach. I mean, very emotional. So I haven't seen a really good, strong, emotional coach since Bobby Knight. And I guess Hurley, that's a pretty close comparison. I don't mean it's quite to the Bob Knight level, but I like coaches that are passionate. I like coaches that are, that do show emotion like that. I do. I get. I think the players get sparked up by that kind of stuff. So
it's hard. It's hard to feel bad for him. You just come off winning 2 championships. I mean,
yeah,
2 championships in a row. My heart really bleeds for him. You know what I mean?
That's like whenever the Chiefs lost this year. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, he had a good run. Well, hey, Frankie, what about you, man? Did you watch any of the March Madness games, or did you see any of the highlights from that UConn or Florida game, or anyone to stand out to you?
Yeah, I actually watched the UConn game, and I'm actually surprised that they made it as close as what it looked like, because in the first half they were absolutely nowhere to be found, and then they come out of halftime and they just they do the comeback, and then Florida just ended up putting the gas to the pedal, and they just hammered UConn in the final 2 minutes, and UConn decided, like, listen, we're down by 6, we got to hit some threes. And then literally the last second they hit a 3 to make it a 2-point, a 2-point loss. But it's like a little too late, brother. But I'm gonna go back to the coach. I like that coach. I do, and I understand what Jay says. I feel like we all love an emotional coach. We really do. But I'm gonna have to agree with Tony here. Like, bro, you just won back-to-back championships. You're in the AC team. Like, you really expect to go out there and beat a Florida team that's really hot this year? I mean, you don't have the same players that you had when you won back-to-back championships. And to be honest with you, you put this on yourself. Don't go out in the media blaming the refs. You did this to yourself. If I'm not mistaken, a couple months ago, you were out in front of a camera saying, "I'm the best. I'm the GOAT. I'm the greatest coach in college basketball." And now you're sorry. You're a sorry, sore loser because you couldn't beat a number 1 seed team when you're number 8 and you guys literally played shitty basketball this year. Excuse my language.
Hey, Frankie, let's not forget also that Dan Hurley very well could have been the Lakers coach. He applied for that job, and it looked like it went right down to the wire before he ultimately rejected it and signed a big deal with UConn.
I'm glad he didn't.
They've got JJ Redick looking always looking fresh on the sidelines with the haircut.
I mean, not only that, Logan, you don't got JJ Redick saying, I'm the greatest coach in basketball. I'm the greatest NBA coach over here. Look what I'm doing with the Lakers that Darvin Ham couldn't do. You got this guy in Connecticut like, yeah, man, I just went back-to-back. I'm the GOAT. I got 2 rings. Like, nobody's going to beat us. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I did see the kind of the highlight from last night, I believe, with Maryland and Colorado State. Boy, what an ending that was. Colorado, they hit a shot with, I believe, maybe 6 seconds left on the clock to get them ahead.
Yeah,
Yep,
McQueen
and then,
fade away at 6 seconds, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a nice shot though. And then credit to Maryland though, man, went right down the court, off the glass, kissed it, and got them in and went into the Sweet 16. Well, they will take on the Florida Gators. That's going to be a good matchup. I'm looking forward to seeing how that one goes.
What a time.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
Maryland's going to have to shoot the ball a lot better to stay with Florida. They didn't shoot real well.
I think Florida will beat Maryland. I hate to say it because I'm Big Ten, but I think Florida's going to beat Maryland probably by double digits. I'd say at least 10 points. Maryland just don't have no depth. In that game they won the other day on that last second shot, their starter scored 70 of their 72 points. Like they don't get nothing. They got one of the best starting fives in college basketball, but they don't get nothing from their bench. And against Florida, who's one of the best teams in the country, I just think it's going to be hard for them to stay bucket for bucket with them, if they don't get anything from their bench.
Well, one thing, Queen's going to have to play better. Queen's their big guy, and he didn't have a great game. I mean, I know he hit that last second shot, but he didn't have a great game. He only had 17 points, and he was held in check for a lot of the game. So he's going to have to really step up for them to have a chance against.
And he got away with the travel that last.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
He got away with the travel that last shot as well.
They call
It
travel.
took about 6 steps.
And I mean, look, you can kind of get away with that kind of stuff, the come from behind, the close buzzer beaters, whatever. You can kind of get away with that, in Colorado State, but like you said, Gonzo, you're not going to get away with that with Florida.
Well,
No.
Especially after Florida just took out a pretty tough UConn team. And you're going to go in there, it's just not going to happen that way. I don't care how good McQueen is. It's just not going to fold that way. So, yeah, I do agree with you. I do think that Florida takes out Maryland for sure.
Maryland was due. Maryland was due because they had lost the last 2 or 3 years in the tournament on last second buzzer beaters. So they were due for one. That's the first thing the coach brought up. He said the last 3 years we've got beat on buzzer beaters in the tournament. So we was due one.
Y'all want to hear something crazy on my take? And and it's called March Madness for a reason. Auburn is gonna lose to Arkansas.
I can see that.
Oh wow, okay.
I can see
right
that.
now.
That's not too far fetched.
No.
Arkansas is playing so good after what we've seen with them in St. John last week, or this past weekend. I feel, and plus, Auburn didn't look good in round 2. They did not, and they played a really bad team, and they did not look good at the start of this game. So I'm predicting that Arkansas is going to beat Auburn to make everyone go crazy.
Arkansas plays.
Yeah. Or are you going to say they're both going to make it to the Final Four? Maybe.
Probably. Who's Arkansas playing?
They are. Thank you.
Who?
Texas Tech.
Oh yeah, Arkansas. I think Arkansas can beat them.
Okay.
So yeah.
And then, so do you think that Auburn would beat Michigan? Because then that would, I believe, set up the.
That's going to be a good game. That's a game to watch. That's going to be a good one. If you guys are watching right now, if you want to see a really good game, you're going to want to watch Michigan Wolverines versus Auburn. That's going to be a really good game. Michigan is like a really quiet sleeper team that nobody's mentioning.
And they played real well. They played real well in the Big Ten tournament, and it's carried over. So. And
also, just real quick, Joe, hold off on that. We'll get to it once we're done with March Madness. we will get to that. Don't you worry.
I mean, I'm gonna say the same thing I said to Jay because he wants to.
No, but you.
Hey,
Mike, we gotta bring it on
there yet. Hold the press. I know you want to. I know you're chomping at the bit. Hey, one thing I thought was, and I told you I thought was a real big thing for me to see. And again, Duke destroyed Baylor. I mean, over 20-something points destroyed. But I like that. Cooper Flagg played, well over almost 30 minutes of the game, put up 18 points, had a pretty good outing considering he's coming off that injury. Proctor obviously was a big guy over there. I think he had over 20-something points, 25 or something like that points. So. But I really wanted to see how Cooper Flagg played because I really feel like that was going to tell me how well Duke was going to do the rest of this tournament. So I am looking forward to seeing how Duke plays going forward, getting into now that they're in the 16 and where they go from here. But that was a big thing to see how Cooper Flagg was going to play coming into this.
Duke
I knew Duke was going to be tough, but I didn't expect them to dominate like they have.
Let's say Duke is like the best team in college basketball in the tournament so far.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
What am I worrying about? They've looked the most dominant on any team in the tournament right
Well,
now.
come on, Chris. You know what?
I'm just
Houston guy. His team is number one.
I think people are going to overlook the Cougars, man.
You see, there you go. There it is. See, I told you. He's a
Wait a
Houston
minute.
guy.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that you think Houston's looked more dominant than Duke?
No, I'm not saying that. Don't put words in my mouth.
Well, you're telling me what I said was wrong.
I said,
Chris,
I don't think that like Duke is gonna I understand how good Duke is playing, but then it's not gonna be a cakewalk for them. Like Houston's gonna give them
I
competition.
didn't say it was going to be a cakewalk, but Houston has to get to Duke first.
No,
I'm about to tell you. They're not there yet.
we just beat the crap out of Gonzaga. We're gonna get there.
Beat the crap out of Gonzaga. Gonzaga had a chance to win that game there at the end, bud.
Yeah, no, but. James,
Let him live,
as long as we win, I can say the word beat the crap.
Let him live, Chris.
I wouldn't overlook the Boilermakers.
Calm down.
I wouldn't
But no,
overlook
I
the
think we're going to
Boilermakers this
overlook.
weekend. Hey, you know what, Jay? I might go to that game Friday because it's only about 45-minute drive to where that game's being played at. Because it's right here in Indianapolis.
Hey, listen, no, I'm glad you said that because if I was 45 minutes, Gonzo, I'd be there too, honestly. And I do think that's going to be a good game to go watch. If you want to get your money's worth, it's going to be a good game.
That'd be a good one.
I think Chris is forgetting that Jay was actually the one last week on Friday, I think, or Thursday, that was saying how the Houston Rockets are better than Indiana Pacers, and they were going at it. So
How
Chris,
do we get there already? Calm down,
Chris. You gotta let him do what he gotta do. You feel me? He's a Houston guy. You gotta ride behind his boys. They're called Houston Cougars. Come on. What's a cougar, Chris? That's an old lady, like an old hot lady, right? Come on.
You're right, Frankie. I'm a fan of Cougars, so I need to slow my roll.
Well, with that note, we're going to move on to our next game here. We'll keep it in that bracket. Kentucky and Tennessee battle the SEC squads. Kentucky beat Illinois 84-75. Meanwhile, Tennessee just wiped the floor almost with UCLA 67-58 in that one. So both these teams had very dominant performances, won their games, and now we get another SEC matchup here between number 2 and a number 3 seed. Guys, how do you think this one's going to fare? We'll go with Frankie. We'll go with you first, buddy.
My bad. My daughter's crying. What's the two teams again? I know it's number 2, number 3.
Yep, Tennessee and Kentucky.
So I like Tennessee, and I understand that they came off with a close win last night. Kentucky's a good team also. I mean, they've been playing well to the start of this tournament also. But I feel like Tennessee will be more physical and dominant on the board. So I'm gonna ride with Tennessee on this one. But I don't think Tennessee makes it. I think they'll make it to the Final Four, but I don't think they make it past.
Okay, Jay, what do you think?
I don't think Tennessee makes it to the Final Four, but I definitely think that they take this game. I definitely think they take it. Yeah.
Who would
I'm Tennessee.
I need to look at the bracket. Who would Tennessee play in the Final Four if they made it to?
So if Tennessee wins, let's say if Tennessee wins, then they get to the Elite Eight with the winner of Houston and Purdue. And then after that, it would be the winner of Alabama, BYU, or Duke and Arizona.
Of course, that's why Jay doesn't think Tennessee will make it to the Final Four, because if they win, they have to go up against Houston. If Houston makes it, there you go.
Why you put that word "if" in there, Killer?
I mean, because that's just how it is, right? Every Texas team that comes out of your mouth they're better.
Says the guy talking about LA, Lakers, and Yankees.
I think
it's been 0 for 0.
Hey, I don't go around saying my team.
Oh, yes, you do. Shut your pie hole.
No,
over
I
there.
don't.
Puerto Rico. Yes, you do.
I do not. You can ask
Yes,
everybody on this panel.
Stop it. By the way, I love State of Puerto
I
Rico.
like Tennessee. I like Tennessee in this game against Kentucky as well. I think Tennessee is going to be a little too much for them. Tennessee impressed me in that game against Oregon last night. I know it ended up being a close game, but Oregon got out to a lead, and Tennessee came back out to the lead, and Oregon tried to battle back. But it was
Chris, do you mean UCLA?
yeah, I'm thinking of a different game. But yeah.
About
Who
the
played
Oregon,
Oregon?
that was Arizona.
I think he was thinking.
That was
about the
Arizona.
women's-
That was Oregon and Arizona. I
Yeah,
watched last
that was
night.
late game.
I thought you were thinking about the women's bracket.
I haven't watched any of the women's games this year yet.
But the women's games are still a little bit early on. We're in the round of 32 right now, so because they started I think a day later or so they're a little bit behind. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Like I said, Jay, we already know who you're going to side with Houston and Purdue. But I mean, Purdue.
I don't think. I mean, like I said, I got Houston in the. You got to say, when I came with my bracket, I had Houston. I actually had St. John's. St. John's really kind of crappy.
A lot of people did.
I had St. John's, and I think I had Michigan State in there as well. Michigan State's still alive, so we're good. But yeah, St. John's really let me down on that bracket. I had Duke, St. John, Michigan State, and Houston. That was my final four. So we'll see where I finish out. But yeah,
I'm about to say, if I'm a Purdue fan, you just kind of hope you can keep riding the wave you're on because they haven't faced any stiff competition in the tournament. They faced High Point in their opening round matchup, and then they faced McNeese, of course, who got the upset win over Clemson, and they beat them by like 14 points. So they took care of business there. So, we'll see what the Boilermakers can do. And
So
I know who
Houston is
Jason
playing
will be turning.
Purdue.
Correct.
I thought they were playing Gonzaga.
Houston's playing Purdue. Gonzaga, who are they playing?
They got put out.
Well, Gonzaga's out.
Gonzaga's out.
Oh, they lost this. They lost this past.
Yeah, they lost to Houston.
Yeah, they lost to Houston
All right, so
over the
I'm-
weekend.
look at that. I'm like the women's. I'm a week back.
You are a
You're
woman.
a day behind.
I honestly thought that they were playing Gonzaga next weekend.
I think it's going. I think it's going. Purdue and Houston's going to be a real good game.
No, it's not. Purdue's gonna smack Houston all around the court.
Purdue's got to hold on to the ball, man. They had too many turnovers that last game. Smith, I think his name's Braden Smith. I know he had 6 or 7 turnovers himself. He's got to play a lot better if they're going to have a chance against Houston.
But I think they're going to they'll play good. I know they haven't played like Logan said. They haven't played the stiffest competition in the tournament, but they did throughout the regular season. They played a lot of good competition, being in the Big Ten.
They did.
And this is basically a home game for Purdue. I mean, they're in Lafayette. They're in Lafayette, Indiana, is where their school's at. But the tournament's in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is only maybe hour and a half, hour drive or something.
Wow.
So it's basically a home game for Purdue as well. So that Lucas Oil is going to be filled with Boilermaker fans. So I think it's going to be a good game, and it should be a great atmosphere there in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Logan. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, we'll see how it plays out, but what were your thoughts, Jay?
No, I was just saying a lot of people, I know, Gonzo, you made a really good point about how good Duke is, and they are on both sides of the ball. They're phenomenal. That's why I was saying, but it all depended on Cooper Flagg's health. And obviously, we see now that he's healthy, he's doing well. So, yeah, they are very dominant on both sides of the ball. And I think the Baylor game showed just how dominant that team is on both sides of the ball. I do want to say, though, that, and I said this earlier, that Houston is also a dominant team because they're like 3rd and 4th on the key statistical categories throughout the nation in several categories on both offense and defense. Matter of fact, at the 3-point line, I almost said they're number 1 in the nation. So I'm just saying, I know how good Duke is. We all know how good Duke is, but don't overlook what Texas is going to bring to the table. I mean, what Houston's going to bring to the table.
Don't correct yourself. It's true. You're right. It's Texas. You're Houston, Texas.
Hush your mouth. Hush your mouth.
Hey, in my opinion, Houston might be the third best team in the tournament right now. I would have Duke and Florida as being a little bit better than Houston.
You don't have Auburn better than Houston?
I'd have Auburn right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. I would put Houston at the 3rd spot. I think for me it'll go like Duke, Auburn, then Texas, followed with Florida. That's just me because of their center over there in Auburn. I really like their center that they got over there. He's a beast. I'm trying not to curse.
And they're starting to play better now too, because they were struggling at the end of the season, but they seemed like they got hot again in the tournament.
I would say they got a Broom, right? I know he's a really good player.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Frankie, you haven't talked about it. I know BYU's facing Alabama. I know you're a big college football fan of Alabama, but have you kept up much with their basketball program this year?
Nah, I mean, you guys know me. I mean, I'm not a big, huge fan like I am with college football than I am with basketball of the college side. Obviously, I'm a big fan of NBA. But college-wise, I'm not a big fan. Like, if you was to ask me what's my favorite school, my favorite team, like I honestly can't give you one. I'm like one of those people that likes, I would name you a bunch of schools that I kind of like, like Duke, UConn, Syracuse. There's a bunch of schools that I can tell you that I like. I'm not a big guy like Jay or like Chris and Tony where they have that, that one specific school that they, ride and die for. But I did watch Alabama and what they've been doing throughout this tournament. And it's really surprising to me. I thought Alabama would have already been knocked out of March Madness already, but I've been watching. Yeah. I don't think it's just because of me. Like, I feel like Alabama basketball wise, I don't know how to say this. Like, I feel like when I'm talking about a Alabama school, like the only thing that come to mind would be football. I wouldn't expect the basketball Alabama team to kind of, be in the same conversation as the Alabama Crimson Tide on football side. That's just me.
No, that's fair. I mean, a lot of people definitely don't think of basketball and they think of Alabama. That's for sure, especially over the last 15, 20 years. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, BYU, Alabama. So BYU barely beat Wisconsin, 89-81 final score in that one. That was an upset in that. And then their opening round matchup, BYU took care of VCU. They won by 9, 80-71 final score. Meanwhile, for Bama, they beat up on St. Mary's 80-66, and then the round one matchup, 90-81 high scoring matchup there against Robert Morris. So Jay, how do you think this is going to go? Cougars or Crimson Tide?
Cougars or Crimson Tide. And we're talking women's, correct?
Oh no. No. Excuse me.
No, because I didn't. No, because I'm saying Houston's going against the Boilermakers. The
BYU Cougars.
Over the women's basketball.
BYU.
BYU
Well,
called the Boilermakers.
He just said Cougars, so I still thought. I'm sorry, I was looking at some stats, so I heard the word Cougars, and so I thought that you were talking about Houston. I didn't know you realized you had switched over to BYU.
No.
Why'd you say Boilermakers? Is BYU called the Boilermakers?
This motherfucker. I'm gonna slap him in the fucking balls.
Just for that, yeah, I gotta throw this in.
I know. Put it up there.
There you go.
Put it up there. I swear to God, I'm gonna go slap him in the whats, man.
I'm just gonna leave this up here for about a minute, and
all right,
pretty much when y'all gonna be talking about the Rockets, so I'll have that one up there.
This is exactly why I cannot be on a show with Jay anymore, because he says stuff and he knows that I'm not paying attention when he talks, and then he says something about Boilermakers, and I'm like, where's he talking about Boilermakers? Like. Well, what are you talking about? Is there a school called Boilermakers?
If you'd have listened to your fucking ears, pardon my French.
Oh, God.
Put it back up. You'd have heard. I'm sorry. I don't like to cuss, but he is really just getting on my dang nerves, man.
Oh.
If you'd have listened, I said the Cougars were playing the Boilermakers. I thought that's what he was thinking. That's who we're playing next. You freaking.
Hey.
I can't say that word. I'm going to calm down.
You remember how we. Hey, guys, you remember how before we started this show, Jay was like, oh, I'm inside Frankie's head. Guess who got in his head? Guess who got in his head?
You're not in my head. You're just saying a bunch of retarded stuff right now.
Oh, no, okay. No.
What am I got? Hold on.
Just leave it. Just leave it.
Now this is where the show's gonna take a turn. Take the disclaimer off.
No.
I want to know truly, Jay. What did I say that was retarded? Because all I heard was.
Okay. All right. No. We're not gonna do.
No, Logan.
No.
I'm really sick of this with Jay. What did I say that's retarded? Because you said something, and I'm asking you a question about it.
No, I'm gonna make it real simple. Because you had said you heard the word Boilermakers, and so when I did that, that's where that kind of went. So that's what I was trying. It was just a little miscommunication there.
So all right. So you should apologize to me for calling me a retard.
I apologize.
And watch your mouth next time.
Touch your mouth. I will not watch my mouth, but I will apologize.
I like Alabama against BYU, guys.
Yeah, I do.
I like how this all started
think
because
Alabama-
Jay wasn't listening, didn't he? He gets mad and said Frankie wasn't listening.
Yeah.
And then got the nerve to call me a retard because I'm not listening. All I heard was Boilermaker. I'm like, I'm asking a serious question. You know I'm not a college
Okay,
basketball
I
guy.
did apologize, but leave it alone.
I know, but you
said
know
I
I'm not a
apologize.
college basketball guy. So I'm asking you, like, why did you say
I
that?
mean,
Like,
look, well, we
and I was
definitely
gonna
not a
because I
college
was gonna laugh
basketball guy.
if BYU is really called the BYU
that's-
Boilermakers. I was gonna be like,
Oh, okay. Let's move on.
Yes, sir. We move on. Alabama and BYU. That's what Tony
Yes.
was talking about.
Yes.
Who you think's gonna win, Jay?
Jay Chills are rock stars over the
Give me
weekend.
a final
Back being
score.
tough.
Just give me a score and we'll move on.
Oh man!
I think that
All
would
right,
be
I'll
like
go
the
first.
NBA.
If you don't mind, I'll go first, and that way I'll get out of the way.
Go
I
ahead.
do think Alabama wins that game. I think it's going to be a close game because what BYU has done and so far. Oh, he's a Lakers fan. I didn't know that. But anyway, no, I think what BYU has done in the tournament so far, BCU and things of that nature, they look like a pretty good team. But I think Bama's going to be a little bit too much for them. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to say probably 68-54. Favor of Bama.
BYU's got to knock down the threes. If they knock down the threes, they can keep it close. But I think Alabama's too physical for them.
Just said send them both to bed without supper. Yeah, y'all get ice soup for dinner tonight. That's what
I
y'all
don't
get.
even eat supper. All my food. I don't even eat dinner. I don't eat nothing. And I'm still
Frankie gets a
fat.
3-week-old pack of ramen noodles, and Jay, I don't
Hey, ain't
know.
nothing wrong with ramen
You-
noodles. Them shits are good. You give me some beef and chicken ramen noodles, I'll eat that all day.
I just had some
Okay.
sushi for lunch. It was delicious.
All right. Next topic. I don't know what. Next topic here. God, I don't want to talk about this, but we kind of have to. Jay, hold on. First off,
Is this about the
Jay,
is this gonna be
Frankie.
about the Lakers?
yes, and the
All right, before
Rockets,
we-
and y'all
all
can
right.
y'all can banter.
Take the discussion off
No,
for a second.
no.
Take it off for a second. Just take it off for a second.
No,
All right,
we'll
I'm
keep
gonna be
we'll keep
professional.
it clean. We'll keep it clean.
Can we have
gonna
a
be
can we have a
professional, Jay.
human school here? A
I'm gonna
nice
be-
clean
I'm gonna-
debate.
I'm gonna be professional right now, Logan J. Before we started the show, we did what we did. We said what we said. Let's keep it professional right now.
Yeah, I got you. We here.
Let's do it.
About
Let's
5
do it.
seconds.
Joe, don't you come in on the comment working me up. All right, we're being professional right now, Joe.
Just set this one up for God's sake.
I have a question that pertains to that for Frankie and for Jay. Well, there's about 10 games left, roughly. It might be one more for one team or another. Lakers are 2 games back of Houston. Guys, does the Lakers catch Houston for second?
Do you want to go first, Jay?
No, you go first.
All right. So, I mean, it's a possibility, right? Right, Tony? I mean, we didn't look good against the Bulls this past weekend, and I absolutely agree with that. Like, we were terrible. Rui Hachimura coming back, he was selling really hard, but then again, he's got to get that rhythm back in his system. LeBron James scoring the same amount of points as Bronny did, but from the previous game before that. I think they can. I think the loss that Houston got over the Nuggets is what's going to help us, because if Houston would have won that game, it would have been like we would have probably been out of range on that point. But I think they can do it, because we still have a matchup against Houston coming up. I think if not this week, I think it's next week, or I think it is
It's on the
this week.
31st. It's the last day of the month.
Yeah, so we do play Houston this week on the 30th, and then I think we still have one more game with Denver, if I'm not mistaken, or I think we're done with Denver. So that game, that one game against Houston is what's really catching my eye. If we could win a couple games going up to there, and hopefully Houston loses one more game, I think it's a possibility. But the Lakers are in 4th place, Tony. So like we have
You got to go with the Nuggets too.
Yeah, we have to worry about the Nuggets too, who just beat the Houston Rockets. So it's going to come down to, if Houston loses, Denver is going to go up there. But if it's going to be really confusing. So I think they can do it, but I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to. In my opinion, I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to stay in the 4th or probably the 3rd.
And you got the Grizzlies only a half game back of the Lakers right now too.
Ain't nobody worried about Memphis.
Hey, by the way, though, correction, we actually play you guys twice. We play you on the 31st, and then we play you again on the 11th. And both games are in LA. So we got 2 more meetings. It ain't just 1 more. But yeah, Houston has a very challenging schedule coming forward now, right? We got to go, like Logan said earlier, we play Atlanta tomorrow. Then we got the Jazz. Then we got Phoenix. Then we got LA in LA. Then we got Utah, OKC, Golden State, Clippers, Lakers, Denver. And a majority of this next stretch of games between now and the end is mostly away from Houston. They only got a couple of games in Houston. The rest of it is all going to be on the road. I didn't look at LA's schedule. I'm pulling that up now. This is kind of what they're looking at. And obviously they're playing us twice. So we're going to obviously see each other quite a bit. They got Golden State. They got OKC with back-to-backs. They got Portland, Dallas. They got to play Memphis in Memphis. And they got to play the Pacers in Indiana. And they got to go back to the team that gave them the last drubbing in Chicago. So I think, honestly, Houston has a very good chance at staying ahead of the Lakers. But again, like Frankie said, it's going to come down to a couple of things. Number one, we got back-to-backs. Or not back-to-backs, but we got 2 games in LA between now and then. And then the Lakers got to play OKC, the number 1 team in the league, back-to-back times. So this can very, very easily flip-flop back and forth. And I wouldn't be surprised, depending on all things go, if maybe even Denver slides up. If Joker comes back, I think Denver could even slide up to the number 2 spot. Maybe Houston slides to 3, and maybe Lakers come down to 4 or 5. Or maybe they do. You know, it's a lot of basketball between now and then. But I do believe in my Rockets. I do believe in what we can do. And I do think that Frank is going to see that we are the real deal.
I'm sorry. I'm being professional. I'm sorry.
Well, you be professional all you want. You just got blown out 146-115 by the Chicago Bulls.
I know.
The fully loaded Lakers team. So please be professional.
I know. But you don't. But
Okay.
you know what? You don't want to talk about how that 9-game winning streak you played nothing but.
I want to talk about a lot of things because you said we played trash teams. But last time Phoenix was in there. No, hold on.
I'm not going to say nothing.
But you did say it. I want to get your on. If we're talking about this, let's put it on the table. You talked about us a 9-win winning streak as if we played trash teams, which a lot of those teams weren't good. But we also did play Phoenix, which is in the play-in, and we did play Orlando, which I think is close to. If they're not in the play-in, they're close to the play. So there wasn't all trash teams in there.
The fact that you even called Phoenix a good team as a play-in, it just goes and proves.
No, I said they're in the play-in.
They're
not a trash team. They might not be your level, but they're not.
I'm not going to say nothing anymore. They're trash, Jay. They're fully trash. If there's any franchise in the NBA that got KD on their roster, they're trash.
Man, get that bullshit off of Mike Hughes. Mike Hughes, shut the fuck up. No offense. Shut the fuck up.
Jay's upset right now. Jay's upset.
Oh, man. That dude always got to come with stuff, man.
Well, we had a good thing going, but now we're going to stop it.
I mean, Chris, do you have the list in front of you? Of the teams that and I'm not trying to continue it, and I'm not trying to say, listen, you played a bunch of trash teams or whatever. But Chris, can you please name off the list of teams that the Houston Rockets beat from the time that the last loss that they had against the Pacers to the last loss that they just had against the Nuggets?
We played the Pelicans twice.
Trash.
The Magic.
Trash.
The Suns.
Definitely trash.
Dallas Mavericks.
Super trash because they got nobody.
The Bulls.
I give them that because they just blow us out. But they're still trash.
The 76ers.
They're definitely trash.
The Magic again. Miami Heat.
There's nothing more to say. I mean, really. There's really nothing more to say.
Well, you know what they say: good teams beat weak teams. But that's not always the case, though, is it, Frankie? Sometimes good teams.
I mean, you could continue
get blown out by weak teams.
You could continue to be blindsided by the Lakers.
Sometimes good teams get blown out by weak teams.
I'm going to answer. If you could just keep your mouth shut, I'll answer. Okay, you could keep getting blindsided.
You said yapping this whole time about some BS.
You could keep getting blindsided at the fact that the Lakers got blown out by the Chicago Bulls, but when we win games and we would get on win streaks, you don't say nothing because you actually see that we're beating 500 teams, right?
Frankie, how many times have you been on a win streak, honestly? How many streaks have you even had, guy?
We just came off of an 8-game win streak. Are you serious? Are you
Yeah, how
serious?
many wins you had?
We just came off an 8-game winning streak. Before that, we had a
Yeah, I'm
6-game
not
winning
saying
streak.
that, but how many? But how many? You act like you've had like all these streaks and stuff.
We have. We
Okay.
have.
All
And
right.
guys, the Rockets, the last 5 games of the season, their schedule gets pretty tough. They got the Thunder, the Warriors, Clippers, Lakers, and Nuggets. They're the last 5 games of the season. I don't know about the Lakers.
They got a pretty tough schedule too.
Yeah, well, give me a second. I can find
Yeah,
it.
I think at the start of March, we had like the third or the second toughest schedule remaining in basketball.
It's,
Yeah. So
Because
the,
like,
the
it's
fi-
possible.
because like
so the
this year,
final, yeah,
we have to play OKC back to back. We
Yeah.
have to play the Nuggets. We have to play,
Houston
Golden
twice.
State Warriors, who
Yeah.
actually looks nice right now. There's a lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of
And,
good teams that we have to
and,
play.
and Frankie, I found your last 5 games here. So hold on. Yeah, so 4 of your last 5 are on the road, by the way. You got a double shot versus OKC on the road, and I would suspect at that time they're going to be playing a lot of their bench players heading into the playoffs. You don't want to get those guys hurt, so you might be facing a weaker OKC team than what would originally be on paper.
Well, not only that, Logan. So the Lakers also, and I see what JJ Redick is doing, and I like it because we're going to guarantee a playoff spot. We're not going to be in a play-in, no doubt about it. I like Jay
Right.
said, the lowest we're going to go is probably 5, right? If we keep losing. So I'm seeing what JJ Redick is doing. He's resting some starters because there's so many. The Lakers are literally playing so many back-to-back games, and the reason for that was because of the LA fires that canceled many of our games back in January, and that's now building now. That's the reason why the Lakers are playing so many back-to-back games. And I'm not mad at the fact that, JJ Redick is sitting these guys down and giving them their rest and stuff like that. I totally agree with it. Do it because you're going to need them when the playoffs come. Juan Sanchez, what do you say? Lakers suck. Only good thing about them is LeBron and Luka. The fact that you even say LeBron is like insane to me. I'm not even a big LeBron fan, but the fact that you said that is just mind-blowing. Juan, you say my Lakers suck. I heard your wrestling style is trash, bro. Juan, I heard you need to go back to officiating, my man.
Oh shit!
Frankie's getting a call out here. We'll see him in the
All
ring.
I'm
in the
saying-
cage.
And
You know,
it's possible.
I love my haters.
Get him out there, Chris. Hey, Chris has taken a chop before. He knows what it feels like.
It's possible that the Lakers and the Rockets both could fall to like 3 and 4, and that the Nuggets can move up to that number 2 spot.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was just saying a second ago. I said I wouldn't be surprised if when this is all said and done, like you said, that the Denver Nuggets probably could move up because we do have some challenging times ahead between now and the end of the season. It's very crazy.
Yeah,
Jay, you
Brandon's
guys are having a
just-
free throw problem? Are you guys having a Shaquille O'Neal problem over
look.
there in Houston as an organization?
I can look at the stats. Give me just a second. I mean, yes, they have free throws.
Carson-
Can I
Is Joe,
say-
is Joe saying the Rockets shoot free
From
throws
Iowa
like
said the
Shaquille
Rockets
O'Neal?
suck.
Sounds like it.
Exactly. See, that's the point. That's the exact point. Carson's teacher don't even know who the Rockets are. That's embarrassing. She don't even know the sport that they play. She's like, "What sport do they play?" They play cricket.
Cricket.
Juan's
No,
coming
they're back
hard,
on.
man. Juan's coming back hard.
Ugh. What's he saying? Lakers are getting out of the second round. I got Houston going farther than the Lakers. Hey, that's fine. You can keep having it, but don't come back here trying to apologize when the Rockets get eliminated in the first round and Lakers move farther than them. I don't want to see hey, yo, Frankie, I'm sorry, man. You were right, blah, blah, blah. Because you know what I'm going to say? Disqualified. Get out of here.
So as a team, the Houston Rockets shoot 73.8% from the free throw line. So basically, about 3 of every 4 you're making.
I don't know what the league average is.
And that's a good point. I feel like that's kind of lower, but I don't know if it'd be the worst in the league though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about the Rockets. The Rockets are going to be just fine. Frankie's going to talk trash, whatever, but they're going to be fine. I got a feeling at the end of the day,
I'm always
man,
going to
they're
talk
gonna be all
trash, Jay.
We're gonna be all right. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers don't make it out of the first round.
I'm liking how Jay right now is having that little soft voice, and he's like, hey, Frankie's gonna talk trash. Don't try and play victim here, Jay. Acting like you don't.
Nobody playing victim. I said your team's not. Look, guy, and I told you, and I said this at the very beginning, man. You know what I'm saying? Houston is not fully all the way there to take the title. There's a lot of really good teams in there that have a lot of really good experience, right? The Celtics and things of that nature, right? But I do think that where we've come and where you guys have been spudding around for a hot minute, I mean, come on, man. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. The Lakers,
you are.
Since 2020.
I give it to you.
So 2020, you guys have not known your identity. You've been left, you've been right, you've been up, down. You've been all over the crazy place, right?
Trust me, I know. And I give it to you. I'm not arguing with you on that one. I mean, like you said, your team, bottom of the barrel last year, to come in and be in the playoff spot this year, actually be in the second seed of the West right now. You know, I give it to you. I really do.
I mean, think about it. We gutted our entire team. No, watch it. When Harden left, for the most part, if you look at the makeup of the team now versus the makeup when we first traded Harden, everybody's brand new. We re-gutted that entire team, brought in a brand new coach, and we've been nothing but going up.
I mean, I wouldn't call Dylan Brooks brand new, but you know.
I'm saying he's new. Again, pay attention. I said he's new to the team. I didn't say he's new to the league.
You just said everybody's brand new.
We're not going to do that because apparently you don't hear too well. So I'll try to do as best I possibly can.
Okay.
I said since the Harden, we have rebranded everybody in that team is new to the team, Frankie. I don't know how to make it more clear. I'm going to try to hit you in the neck of the forehead.
Now you're saying new to the team. Now you're saying new to the team. 2 minutes ago, you said everything is brand new. Am I the one that's wrong right now?
Things doing my time, man.
Am I the one that's wrong? Chris, Tony.
Yeah, you're definitely wrong. You're absolutely unequivocally wrong, Frankie.
Did he not say everybody's brand new since the Harden trade?
Brand new to their team. I'm sorry.
No. Now you want to add to the team.
Oh, this dude, man. I can't do it, man. This dude's an asshole. I can't do it, man. Frankie, I can't do it, man. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
Whatever. See, because I'm catching you on what you say, and now you want to change your shit. You can't handle it. Oh, my bad. Just saying.
Okay.
I mean, I'm
Final
not wrong.
thoughts?
I'm not wrong. I'm really not. He said, since the Harden trade, everything's brand new. Now I catch him on it. He's like, the team. Everyone brand new on the team. Come on, Jay. I see you in the background, but let's be real.
You are absolutely the definition of troll.
Okay, you're absolutely the definition.
Literally, man. Hey, when they talk about people who troll, you are absolutely the definition of people who troll, man.
Okay.
I love you. I do. You're my boy, but you troll.
Okay. And you just talk out of your ass.
Okay. I'll take that. Whatever you want to say.
I'm just saying.
All right. I'll talk out of my ass. Right. Man, let's get some last comments or something. I don't know. Or let's go to a different topic or something. I got it. Let's move on. Please, for the love of God, let's move on.
Okay. Let's see.
I want to know what Juan Sanchez team is. Is he
Boston Celtics?
He's a Celtics?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let's not even go there. It took you how long to finally win a ring? You want to talk about my team? Oh man.
All right. We'll just end on this. Mookie Betts still dealing with an illness, says he's lost 15 pounds. Frankie, you said he has COVID. I don't think that's the case. They wouldn't have let him back. So.
It's COVID.
Uh-huh.
I want to say something, but I can't.
You can type it in the chat, Tony.
Say what you got to say, Tony. Say what you got to say.
No, I can't.
No.
I don't want to get canceled.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we're already going to get canceled.
So Tiger Woods is dating Donald Trump.
No, we're not even talking about that, Jay. Mookie Betts.
Did you guys, when I was gone, did you guys talk about the college wrestling?
No.
No, we didn't talk about Gable getting smashed.
Got smashed.
Yeah. What y'all think? Y'all are collegiate wrestling fans?
It's probably, well, it has to be. If not, it's right up there as the biggest upset in NCAA history. The guy had only lost one match in college before that.
One match. Okay.
He's Stevenson's also Olympic champion. I mean, just a career he's had. No, I watch the national finals every year, and I didn't think that Hendrickson had a chance to beat Stevenson at all.
Nobody did.
But it was a heck of a match. He got a takedown. He got the final takedown with about 13 seconds left, and he had to hold him down. Stevenson got up to his feet, looked like he was going to maybe get away and tie the match up, but he was able to get him back down, and you could just see that whole arena was shocked. But man, I'll tell you what, wrestling's hot right now. And I don't know if you guys watched any of the finals. There was a lot of good matches, but you had a guy win. Carter Starachi won his 5th NCAA championship, so he won 5 national titles in a row. That's a record. It probably won't ever get broke either because most people don't get 5 chances. But with the COVID year and everything, he did. Yep. Hell, you had Nebraska come up and get second as a team. This year they had 3 guys in the finals. So Penn State won another national title. They dominate
5 in a row.
I think so.
That's 5 in a row for Penn State. Yeah.
Can I ask you guys this about Gable? Do you think he lost mainly because we all know that he won the gold medal from the Olympics for wrestling and stuff like that, and then after that, he signed a contract with WWE, and then after it didn't work out in WWE, he ended up trying out for football, and he got signed by the Buffalo Bills practice squad and stuff. Do you think that was a distraction? Because to me, I think him doing all that was a distraction that took away from his wrestling moment, and that's what happened to him over the weekend. Because we haven't seen when I seen that match. And when I seen Gable Stevenson wrestle, he did not look the same way he did during his, the Olympics and before that.
Yeah, I think it could be a distraction. They say he's been working with John Jones for to be an Ultimate Fighter. He's not talked to UFC yet. He's not talked to Dana White yet, but he's been doing that too. So he could be a distraction. I mean, it could be a distraction. There's no doubt about it.
It could have been some. I think the biggest thing was he wrestled that match. He didn't wrestle that match to win. He wrestled that match not to lose. And you don't see Gable Stevenson do that. Gable Stevenson always goes out and dominates. It don't matter if it's the Olympics, what it is. He goes out trying to score points, trying to dominate. And he didn't do that in that championship match Saturday night. He let that guy hang around in the match, and then that guy was able to come up with a big takedown at the end, and then you just didn't have no time. I don't know if it was if maybe some of the pressure finally got to him because he's never the pressure never got to him before, but he didn't wrestle that match like he normally does. It was more of wrestling not to make a big mistake or not to lose than wrestling to go out there and take the match.
Do you think it was a pressure? Do you think the pressure of the moment that's just what got to him ultimately?
Let me ask you.
He's been under those moments before, I think. So
I mean, he's a two-time national champion. He's an Olympic champion. So I mean, he's been in those moments. I don't know what it was, but he didn't look the same.
Let me ask you this: like Frankie said, he went to WWE, didn't make it, didn't cut it. To a certain degree, people could say he failed. He went to football, which he didn't really. I mean, that's rough to go to football. He really didn't play high school football. Really didn't play college football, and you're trying to make the team, but he failed. So, that's probably the first time in his life he's failed. He never failed in wrestling. So now you're going back to wrestling, and you've been failing some. I wonder if mentality wise, that once things got tough, if that got to him.
Might lost some of his confidence a little bit. I don't know. I know he didn't look like the same guy that I watched wrestle through college and high school and Olympics. I mean, we saw him wrestle when he was 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
I've been watching him wrestle that long. So, but yeah, he didn't look like the same guy out there Saturday night.
No, and like I said, just a overall, yeah, a lot of traction on that one on social media. So that was that's how I saw it. I was just scrolling through Twitter and I saw where ESPN was posting a crazy clip about it, saying, "Oh my God, what an upset," and what a win with that. So yeah, that was definitely a cool moment though over the weekend.
Let me ask you this about wrestling, Tony. I know you wrestled and things like that, or you got a lot of stuff in the wrestling world. When it comes to like matches and stuff, is it as a preparation for a match, anything like where sports work? Do you think that maybe he just wasn't prepared as well for his opponent? Maybe that was an issue.
Could have been mentally. I think physically he was. I don't think that was an issue, but mentally he could have been.
And we got to give. That's a good question, Jay. But off that question, you got to give a lot of credit to Wyatt Hendricks and Oklahoma State coaching staff, because he wrestled a perfect match. Whatever their game plan was, that coaching staff and him came up with, they went in there and executed it perfect.
Right.
So I mean, you got to give him credit as well, because he was able to execute. Because them guys, they study tape. They go in there every match. You're going in there with a game plan. I know this guy's going. I got to stop this, and this might be his weakness. And they were able to kind of force Gable to wrestle Hendrickson's style of match, and he was able to pull it off at the end.
I mean, Gable really could have tied it at the final seconds. He really could, because when he got the takedown, I'm talking about the other guy. When he got the takedown on Gable, Gable was getting up. Yep. He was on his feet, but the guy was smart enough. And this is where Chris was just talking about, looking at films and the Oklahoma coaching stuff. The guy was smart to notice that the time was going down, and he tripped him. He did a forward trip on Gable and got him back down. And Gable, at that moment, it was like 3 seconds left. There was nothing he can do. That is where Chris was like talking about, coaching and videos and stuff like that. And, they knew that Gable had enough energy and enough strength to get out of that takedown. But the other guy, kept him in the arm lock and then just tripped him forward. And that's where it just ended to Gable. Like, I feel like that moment Gable knew it was over.
Yeah, and if you watch, you're right, Frank. If you watch that whole third period, it got within a minute left in the match, and that dude was down. What was it? He was down by 1 point.
Yeah.
Well, if you watch him, his whole strategy changed. He started he was just attacking, put all the pressure on, because he knew if that match, he knew, and coaches know, if that match goes in overtime, he's going to lose.
Right.
Yeah.
His chance was, especially when he got that takedown, everybody knew if he can't hold him down for 13 seconds, he's going to lose this match probably in overtime. That's how it goes when you try and pull out a big upset. So, but yeah, it was real big to get that trip, because once he got that trip, it was done.
Well, plus in that kid's mind, nobody thought he had a chance, so he had nothing to lose. When he looks up and it's a minute left and he's only down 1 point, he's going to go for it. He has nothing to lose. Yep. If he makes a mistake and Gable gets a takedown, that's what everybody expected. So I mean, he had nothing to lose. All the pressure.
Gable almost got out of that takedown. He sweeped him on a one leg.
Yep.
So one leg takedown before he took him down. Gable looked like he was about to get out of there.
Yep.
But the guy, and in wrestling, right? I don't know if anybody. I've done wrestling in high school. In wrestling, when you do the one leg sweep takedown, and you see that somebody's trying to pull it back, the guy was smart. He kept pushing forward. From when Gableson is like trying to back up, the best thing to do is push forward, because when you're pushing that guy, when you're going forward and pushing him backward, it loses his balance. And that's what happened. Gableson tried to get out of it. He almost had it. He literally, he was like one kick away from getting out of that leg sweep takedown. But the guy rushed him so hard to where Gable did not have the ability to keep up on his feet and get out, and it took him down. It was a really good match. It was a really good match. It was a good match when the whole stadium, like the whole arena, is going crazy.
There was a lot of good matches throughout that night, because they had the 10 final match. But it was a great way to finish off the show.
And the way they set that up, they did something that they normally don't do. They started with a big match, the guy going for in the middle of weight classes. They started there to open the show. At what was it, 157, 140, whatever the weight class was, because he was going for his 5th championship, and they made sure they ended the show with the heavyweight, with a big matchup. So they normally don't do that. Usually they would start at a certain weight class and just go around and end up where they end up.
And what I love about it is how mainstream college wrestling is starting to get. I mean, the freaking president of the United States was at the national championship finals. You used to not see that in wrestling. Like, wrestling was a sport that, and now it's on ESPN. The whole tournament's on ESPN now, which the finals have been on ESPN for a while, but now they have the whole, like, you can watch every match basically on ESPN. So it's cool to see.
Yeah, you made it on ESPN, because I remember even back in the early days, we didn't get that kind of coverage on ESPN. So you're right. I mean, the sport is growing. Matter of fact, my old first sergeant, he called me up this morning talking about it. He, like I said, he wrestled out of Oklahoma State. He was number 6 in the nation, but he coached a lot of wrestlers out of Kentucky, the Fort Campbell area around Clarksville. And everyone on his team had won state. I mean, he's got a lot of. I was telling Logan about it earlier. There's a guy named Little that's like number 3 in the nation, and then so he's got a couple of wrestlers that are really starting at the collegiate level, starting to do well. And up till then, I mean, really hadn't seen much about wrestling.
Well, I think what helped wrestling, Chris, I don't know if you agree or not, but when the Olympics took the wrestling out of the Olympics, everybody came forward and got it back in. And wrestling's been kind of on a roll since then. It's really started to grow.
And then when that happened, you had Cejudo came at that time right after they tried to cancel, and he won the Olympics and was the youngest to ever win the Olympic in wrestling at 18 years old.
Yep.
Then you had women's wrestling starting to explode. Then you had the woman from United States, the one that was with WWE.
She's still there. She's doing very well.
Mark, I can't think of her name now. It's a weird name. But she that was big, and then, of course you had Stevenson and some of them other guys that were there. People that aren't big wrestling fans started to know their names.
Yeah, wait till we see Brock Lesnar's daughter. Brock Lesnar's daughter is a beast. She's a really good amateur wrestler. She really is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen his daughter before.
What's mind blowing to me, and what catches me on thinking like what's going on with Gable Stevenson is, and he went to WWE, and Tony and Chris and Logan, I think you guys could agree with me on this. WWE loves amateur wrestlers. I mean, look at the history, right? Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, many more. They love their amateur wrestlers. They go and they sign Gable Stevenson, and the man he didn't even get no TV time. He didn't get no NXT time. Like, the man was just performance center training from day one until he got let go. I apologize. Until he got let go. That's what's mind blowing to me is I know that WWE loves amateur wrestling, and I know it's Vince McMahon at back then that loved bringing in amateur wrestlers, and he's not there anymore and stuff like that. But you can't sit there and tell me that Triple H don't love amateur wrestlers as well. So it's like, what went bad for Gable Stevenson to not, be with WWE if they love amateur wrestlers so bad?
He didn't. Just my opinion. He didn't take to it. I mean, Kurt Angle took to it right away, and just like it was second nature to him. I don't think Stevenson did, for whatever reason. Maybe he didn't love it. Maybe it was different than what he thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
His brother made it for a while, was on NXT and had a lot of matches. He finally got cut too, but he was with NXT for a couple of years. His brother, Bobby Stevenson, did better than Gable did, as far as wrestling goes, professional wrestling. So I think it's just I don't know if it's mentality. I don't know if it was heart. Maybe he just didn't like it. Maybe it was different than what he thought it was going to be.
Well, I was wondering if it was just that he could. For one, he don't have the most charisma, and I don't know if he could work a crowd, if he could get over with the crowd. I think because like watching him, I think he could do like athletic ability. He could do this shit in the ring, I would assume.
Yep.
But I don't know. I was always just thinking it was the other stuff, maybe not being able to work the crowd. And I mean, you can see guys that, and you know it, Frankie, because you watch a lot of pro wrestling. You see guys that can do all the moves and do all kinds of stuff, but if you can't get over with a reaction from the crowd, it don't matter.
Yeah, I'll be real with you guys. When the year of WrestleMania, when Stephanie McMahon brought him out and announced that he signed with WWE, I was one of those fans that were like, "What the hell? Like, why? Like, out of all people, like, why would you bring this guy in? Like, I understand he just won an Olympic gold medal. I understand he's an NCAA wrestling champion and stuff like that, but like, why? Like, what's the real reason behind this?" So like, I understand what you're saying with Chris saying like probably he couldn't get over, or Tony, one of you guys said it, he couldn't get over with the crowd. That hit me. That really did. Once one of you guys said that, it put me in my head, and I'm like, yeah, that's actually true. He probably couldn't get over the crowd, because I remember when Stephanie brought him out at WrestleMania, the crowd at WrestleMania wasn't even pumped for him. If I'm watching it and I'm like, what the hell? Why are they signing this dude? then yeah, one of you, whoever said it, you guys are right. He probably couldn't get over it with the fans.
Very well could be. Very well could
Hey
be.
guys, I did have one other thing I wanted to get you guys' opinion on, and you guys can help me with his name because I'm forgetting his name. The manager from McNeese State, who's got over with the NCAA crowd, and
I know his nickname's Aura. I know that much.
That's Jay's cousin. That's Jay's
he signed
cousin.
a
They be
bunch
drinking
of
together.
he signed a bunch of deals at Buffalo Wild Wings, a bunch of different places.
I think Under Armour made him an official tracksuit for the final game they had.
He graduated from the college at McNeese State. Now he's going with that coach. Can't remember where that coach is going now.
North Carolina, isn't it?
North Carolina State.
Yeah, North
NC
Carolina.
Going to NC State, he's going with him to be a graduate assistant. So, I mean, what do you guys think about that? This dude's a manager, student manager.
Dude, that's awesome.
I think so too.
That's quite the promotion, if you will, that he got out of that, going to NC State and being a man. I mean, that's crazy. Good for him.
I like that dude.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It comes out with a boom box and a jumpsuit and all this stuff.
I know for a fact Tony and Jay probably seen that and was like, holy shit, I haven't seen a boombox in years. Like, even me, I was like, who still comes out with a boombox? Like, that's fine. That's what got me to love this guy. I'm like, oh, he's walking around with a boombox. Like, okay, give my man some respect.
Hey, I think it's great. The dude found his hustle and it's working. I mean, that's what America's supposed to be about. Have an opportunity. Hey, you're worth whatever somebody will pay you. I'm seeing a lot of people online and stuff that are jealous as hell of this dude, and I think it's funnier than hell because he took initiative and made it happen, and he's getting rewarded for it.
The cheerleaders were wearing if you guys noticed, was wearing socks with his face on it.
Yeah,
Just with his face on it. I mean, it's just awesome. I think it's great. One of the guys was real jealous about it. I told him today. I told him today shut the hell up and quit being jealous.
You guys. Oh, he said, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Quit being jealous because somebody else made it.
I seen that. I was gonna comment on it, but I didn't.
I did.
That.
You pissed me off.
I mean, that's just a natural thing. Anytime somebody has success, there's always going to be those certain faction of people. I mean, you can't ever get away from that. It just is what it is.
But you know what's funny, Jay, is the person on Facebook talking trash about him is the same person that goes around crying about how people talk trash to him. So it's like you're talking trash about somebody that is going to get well known, but yet you're on Facebook crying for yourself because people are trashing you and hating on you and your stuff. It's like, come on, bro. It's a full circle. Don't do that to somebody if people are doing it to you, because now you know the reason why people are doing it to you. Look at what you're doing. But it's confusing to me. Hold on. He's a team manager, right? That's what you guys say. He's a team manager.
Yep.
Team managers gets NIL deals now?
He got one first time ever, I think.
I was about to say, I'd never heard of a team manager getting an NIL deal. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, he got signed by a bunch of different places. I mean, they said it's going to be worth over six figures. So,
wow.
I mean,
congratulations.
I guess he's got a gimmick to it. They want to buy in on the gimmick, you know?
Oh, for sure.
I'm about to go to Syracuse. I'm about to go
you
to
guys
Syracuse.
See who he was sitting next to? You guys see who he's sitting with next in the crowd?
No.
Oh, Knicks fan, big
Spike
Lee. Yeah, he was sitting right next to Spike Lee.
Did you see Jaden Daniels' mom cock blocking him?
Yep, I seen that too.
I felt so bad for Jaden Daniels.
They showed the picture first. He's sitting right next to her, and they're laughing, having a good time. They cut away, they come back, and mom's right in the middle.
she's like pointing at the camera, like, "No, I see what you're doing. No, the camera's right there. I see you guys. Missy, you're not gonna get with my son because you know he's gonna be a big deal in the NFL. It's not happening. You're still a sophomore, Missy." That was funny. That was funny to me.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, I want to go. I know we talked about Mookie Betts for a little bit, but that really is interesting to me. He got on the field. He says everything is fine. The only thing is the man just can't eat. Everything else is perfectly healthy, and that's kind of, I kind of wonder if he has the same thing that I just kind of went through not that long ago. I think it was last year where I lost. I went from like 234 to 186 in just a few months, and I wound up going to the hospital. They could never figure out what the issue was. They just feed with all these potassiums and vitamins and all this. Eventually, it all played out, and I got better, but they never really quite figured out what it was. And I almost kind of think that's kind of what Mookie Betts is going through, where he's dropping all this weight. He can't hold new food down. He's nauseous. That was exactly the same thing I went through. And I wonder if he has that same type of issue. And, at some point he's going to have to go to the hospital and get it figured out, because your body's only goes so long without food before really bad things start happening.
I wonder if he had COVID, because after I had COVID, I went for it was a couple. It was like it'd be like I don't know. It was probably about 3 or 4 months. I'd go like 3 or 4 weeks where if I ate anything, I'd puke, and then I'd be then I'd eat for like a week, and then for the next 3 or 4 weeks I'd be sick as hell. And like I went to the doctor and they'd have me eat this shit, and I had to stay there at the hospital, and they followed it through my body and all kinds. They never did figure out what caused it, but it finally just kind of went away. So, but the only thing that ever in my head was it was some kind of effect from when I had COVID, because I could never figure out what else. But it was probably a good 3 or 4 months before my body kept doing that. It could be maybe it's some kind of.
That's not far fetched. I mean, that could very well be one of the things. I mean, I guess nobody really quite knows 100%, but I'll tell you this, Mookie, you're on my fantasy league. You better get yourself healthy, killer, because I need you. I'm like negative 0.90 right now. Come on.
Wait, you get negative points in baseball?
Apparently, I don't know, man. Somehow or another, right? Like if you look at the league, I'm like, if you look at the bottom, I'm in 10th place, and it says negative 0.90, and I'm like,
oh my god, that's scary. That's scary. I don't want to play fantasy baseball no more, guys.
It's a
lot different.
I mean, I'm in 2nd place right now, but I did get news that Gunnar Henderson, and he's on my fantasy league. He's going to start on the IL list. So I'm hoping he can turn it around, because I'm expecting Gunnar Henderson to do something this year. So hopefully he can, come back. But to Chris's point, I've been saying it to Logan, I've been saying it to Jay, and I've even been saying it to you guys. I don't know if he had it or if he still do. It's definitely got to be COVID related, because you're not going to see it on Google. You're not going to hear about it on the news. There is, or there was, or is currently still going, a second outbreak of COVID over there in China, Tokyo, Japan, all that stuff. There's a second outbreak, but you're not going to see it. You want to know why? Because the government is keeping it under wrap. They don't want to scare us again. They really don't. Yeah. But you can't sit there and say, listen, how is this guy? He was good before going to the Tokyo series. Then they go to Tokyo, and all of a sudden he's out because he has an illness. They don't want to be specific on what kind of illness it is, but then they get him sent back home, and now it's breaking news that the man lost so much weight. There's no other sickness out there that could do that, unless you got like, and I'm not trying to jinx him or whatever, but unless you got like cancer or something, right? I mean, no other thing can, and I'm not trying to like get us, cancer or nothing, but like, isn't it true? Like, you can't lose weight on a sickness unless you got like cancer or something.
Frankie C. The C stands for conspiracy.
What'd you say?
So usually when you have cancer and you're losing weight like that, it's usually the after effect of chemotherapy and things of that nature.
Right.
But yeah,
okay.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
it's got to be COVID. I don't know what else could it be. Like, is it like a weird Tokyo flu bug, like a stomach bug? Like, it's insane.
Either way, whatever it is, I need them to figure it out. Ricky Tick, and get him back on the field.
Listen, I understand, Jay, that you got him. You got him on your fantasy league and stuff, but like the more or less Dodger players, the better for me.
Yeah. And MLB is going to be starting here on Thursday, so once that kicks off, we'll have a lot of coverage on that. But we'll go ahead and put a wrap on the show today. Frankie, Jay,
Logan, hold on. Tomorrow,
Moni.
Because we're going to talk about it tomorrow, but I got news that popped up 17 minutes ago. Puka Nacua, wide receiver from the Rams, he's only 24 years old. He already went out and he said that he wants to retire at the age of 30.
Wow.
Okay, we'll save that till tomorrow.
And also breaking news with WWE, which is going to be live on Netflix at 4:00 Eastern time this week, because they're in Glasgow, Scotland. Tony, Chris, Logan, the Natural Disasters are now getting inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame. It has finally been announced. So we finally got our tag team Hall of Famers in there. I love the Natural Disasters. They were a beast back then. I think they were great. and I'm really excited for this Hall of Fame class. Triple H is building one of the greatest Hall of Fame classes right now.
They should have
Yeah.
been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago.
Should they, let me
Yeah,
ask you
they
guys.
should've.
I think.
Let me ask. Should they went before Demolition?
No.
See, Demolition's still not in. I wish they would have got in.
Yeah, Demolition should have, and both wrestlers
No.
are gone now. So I mean,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and Glenn,
who's gone?
Glenn Creek's here.
both members of Demolition, right? They're both gone. Like,
No,
I don't know.
they're both live.
Yeah, they're still wrestling.
I just seen them a year
I'm
ago.
thinking- no, you know who I'm thinking? I'm thinking of Road Warriors. My bad.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, like I said, congrats to them, and as they head into the Hall of Fame. Once again, guys, if you enjoy the show, like, comment, share, and subscribe. We go live Monday through Friday, 2 o'clock Eastern. Check out our show as well as all of our other shows in our network on our link tree in the link in the description. For Jay, Tony, Chris, and Frankie, I have been your host and producer, Logan Landers. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you
Hold on, Jay. Before we leave,